This is a Fifine Tank 1 and this is a Fifine Ampli 1. Is this the perfect team for your podcast? Hey and welcome back to my channel, and for all those who are new, I'm Peter from Media65. Great to see you. There is no shortage of podcast microphones, but good podcast microphones are still rare, at least when they are affordable. And this combination between the Fifine Tank 1 and the Ampli 1 from Fifine is pretty compelling because it really enables podcasters to go live at a good quality without breaking the bank. Little disclaimer, Fifine was sending over the Tank 1 and the Ampli 1 free of charge, but no money has exchanged hands and Fifine doesn't have any influence on the content and they will not get to see the video before it's published. Everything that I'm recording here with the Fifine Tank 1 is completely unprocessed. I only apply some normalization in the editing, but no EQ, no compression or any other filters. That means what you're hearing throughout the whole video just comes straight out of the Fifine Tank 1. When I heard the first time Fifine Tank 1, I asked myself, wow, a microphone which is a tank? But when I unpacked it, I understood why, because this thing is robust. It's made of metal. It's quite heavy, and as such, you really have the feeling that you have quality in your hands, and definitely not a microphone which is around $100. The Ampli 1 from Fifine is a little bit different because it's made of plastic, but it brings everything that you need to have to connect not only the Fifine Tank 1, but also other microphones and other audio sources. When you have a closer look at the Fifine Tank 1, then you see first of all that it looks good. And that's something which is important for a podcast microphone because the podcast microphone is always visible. And if you have a microphone that looks cheap, then definitely your podcast also inevitably will look cheap. This is definitely not the case with the Fifine Tank 1 because it looks very, very decent, to say the least. What I cannot show you now, but I can just tell you that when you touch it, it feels like quality. And I would have guessed that this microphone is more in the range $200 plus, rather $100 plus dollars. And that's something which is also nice. But don't forget, you need to have a stand which is solid enough because this thing weighs a little bit and you need to have some kind of support, which doesn't come, by the way, in the package. Neither does an XLR cable that you need. And this brings me to the next point, the connectivity. The Fifine Tank 1 is an XLR Only microphone. That means it doesn't come with a USB connection. You need to connect it over an XLR cable, which is not too bad, but it means you need to have always an audio interface which has an XLR connection. And that's one of the reasons also why Fifine was sending me over the Ampli 1, because the Ampli 1 has an XLR connection. In addition, also a jack input for instruments or other audio sources. It has a direct monitoring, plus also 3 knobs on the top to level the gain of the microphone, of the audio input, but also of the output, and of course also for the headphone level. The Fifine Ampli 1 is pretty versatile and is quite a good partner actually for the Tank 1. But now back to the Tank 1. The Tank 1 is simplistic. That means you cannot really parameter a lot of things. It has 2 switches on the back. One, which is a low-cut filter. So if you have some rumble or some noise, which is more in the bass side, then you can filter this out automatically. It has also a mid-frequency boost, which will help actually to give your voice a little bit more clarity, a little bit more precision, without that you need to use an EQ later in the post-production. And I'm going to switch this one on now so that you can see the difference between my voice now and my voice later. Okay, here we go. And now you should hear a little bit more clarity in my voice without that I have done anything on the EQ on my computer or any mixing desk. The Fifine Tank 1 is a cardioid microphone. That means you need to be very close in front of the microphone itself so that the microphone will correctly capture your voice. As soon as you go to the sides, you will hear that the sound drops considerably, and especially also if you go to the back. This is on one hand very good because it automatically will filter out environmental noises. So if you have a room which is not perfect for your podcasts, it doesn't matter too much with this microphone. So will I be using it? Yeah, for sure, because it looks good, captures the sound well, has a lot of characteristics that I like, and as such, why not? I'm a little bit more skeptical when it comes to the Ampli one, because the Ampli one feels very plasticky, and even though it does what it should do and has all the features that you actually need right off the box from a good sound interface, I'm not 100% convinced of the quality of the preamps. If I compare it to other preamps that I have, then definitely they sound better than this one here. And if I would be you, I would probably buy the Tank 1, but I would rather buy a better sound interface. Simply, it does more justice to the microphone itself. And now it's up to you. It's up to you to judge whether you like the sound of the Fifine Tank 1 or not. Put it in the comments. And now, thank you very much for watching. If you liked it, well, I'm not going to tell you what you have to do, because I guess that you know what you have to do. Thanks for watching, and hope to see you at the next video.